In the bustling city where the streets whispered stories of dreams and despair, a delivery driver named Jake maneuvered through traffic. With precision, his heart beating in time with the hum of the engine, every morning he rose before dawn, the aroma of fresh coffee guiding him through his routine. The city came alive in colors that painted the sidewalks. Yellow taxis raced past, pedestrians hustled with urgency, and street vendors called out to passers-by. The delivery route was more than just a job for Jake. It was a lifeline. He was a father of two, struggling to make ends meet after his wife. Unexpected illness. Every package he delivered carried with it the hopes and dreams of families just like his. He envisioned the smiles of children receiving birthday gifts, or the relief parent face as they unwrapped essential supplies. Jake's heart swelled with purpose each day. A new adventure in a familiar routine. But one fateful day altered the course of his life. As Jake rounded the corner of Maple Street, something felt off. An eerie silence blanketed the lively chatter of the city, punctuated only by the faint echo of hurried footsteps. He parked the van, oblivious to the shadow looming behind him, merging into the landscape of brick and mortar that had always been a home to him. Inside a local store, there was a holdup. A masked figure, desperate and trembling, pointed a gun at the cashier. The atmosphere thickened with tension as customers ducked, eyes wide with fear, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. In that moment of chaos, Jake realized he had a choice, and it echoed louder than the sirens that wailed in the distance. Without a second thought, he dashed toward the scene, his instincts kicking in. He remembered a lesson from his father. Heroes are made in moments of crisis. Drawing a deep breath, he called out, trying to divert the robber. Attention! Hey! Put the gun down. You don't have to do this. His voice steadied, a beacon of courage cutting through the suffocating fear that cloaked the store. The masked man turned, surprise flickering across his face. Jake saw the desperation etched in his features, the unfamiliarity of awe, strength in the grip of ignorance. In that instant, Jake stepped forward, his heartbeat synchronizing with the pulse of danger. I know you were scared, but this isn't the answer. Let's talk. You can walk away from this. The world outside blurred into the background as time slowed, breaths held in painful anticipation. The robber hesitated, confusion battling in his mind as he faced Jake, who stood firm yet vulnerable, human yet formidable. Jake, courage ignited an ember of thought. Empathy in the robber, sighs. Perhaps in another life they would have been friends. Moments stretched into eternity, and the crackle of police radios began to fill the air. Sensing his chance slipping away. Robbers' inner turmoil culminated in a rash decision. Just as Jake was about to guide him toward a different path, a gunshot shattered the air, a harrowing sound that would haunt him for years to come. It was chaos. Screams erupted, glass shattered, and hearts broke as the robber fled, leaving behind an aura of dread. Jake dropped to the floor, his body frozen between action and panic. In that instant, he felt not just his pulse racing, but also the collective heartbeat of the innocent bystanders who shared that moment of peril. Later, as the dust settled and the sirens faded into the distance, Jake would learn that the bullet had found its mark, but not on him. The gravity of what had transpired weighed heavily on him, for that decision to stand up was as much a choice as it was a burden. He was hailed a hero, but the title felt foreign upon his shoulders, pressed down by the shadow of fear he had faced. The scars of trauma echoed louder than the applause. In the following days, the city reveled in Jake's bravery. News outlets clamored to share his story. The delivery driver who stood up. Amidst violence, however, what they missed, what his neighbors overlooked, was the silent struggle that crept into his life, where he now found himself battling an unseen enemy. Anxiety and guilt intermingled, haunting his dreams where he replayed the moment over and over and over. Every delivery became a reminder of what had happened. He could see the faces of kids who unwrapped gifts, yet he also felt the weight of a gun aimed where hope was supposed to shine. Jake sought refuge in the mundane. The rhythm of the engine, the smell of food, wafting through open windows. Simple pleasures that once brought him joy now seemed tinged with fear. As weeks turned into months, whispers began circulating through town about the local hero. Amidst the noise, fame caught up with Jake, but it bore fruit he had not expected. He became an advocate for mental health, sharing his journey through interviews and community events to normalize the conversation around trauma. The depth of despair transformed into an awakening, a mission ignited by purpose. One cool autumn day, Jake stood at the podium in a community center, the room filled with faces that mirrored the struggles he once thought were unsolvable. "I am not here to flaunt courage," he said, his voice steady yet fragile. "I'm here to tell you that real strength lies in vulnerability. It's okay to feel scared." Applause thundered, and tears shimmered in eyes across the room. In sharing his story, Jake saw not just himself, but reflections of resilience in others. They had all been delivery drivers of sorts, navigating traffic and delivering hope even when they felt depleted. This connection, this sense of belonging, became Jake's anchor. The quiet nights where trembling thoughts kept him awake transformed into dialogues about healing. He learned togetherness wasn't just in the applause. It resonated in shared experiences, darkness swooning toward light, where hope blossomed again. As the seasons changed, so did Jake's understanding of heroism. True courage was not only standing up against an adversary, it was standing by oneself and others. He witnessed communities rally together, neighbors holding hands, finding strength in unity and solidarity. The culture of the city shifted, blossoming toward acceptance and understanding, creating a space for healing rather than judgment. And it was during one of these community gatherings that the masked robber reemerged, no longer cloaked in anonymity, no longer the symbol of fear, but rather a broken man seeking redemption. Jake felt an old wound reopen, rippling with possibility in that moment. He understood that forgiveness was also a form of courage, a chance to break the cycle of pain. With hesitant steps, Jake approached him, heart racing but feet steady. "We've all made choices in our lives that have led us here. I think we can either let those choices define us or let them inspire us to change." The conversation that ensued was raw, honest, a meeting of two wounded spirits, finding solace in their shared humanity. From there, Jake's journey became one of mentorship, where he offered kindness and guidance not just to the community that adored him, but also to those who had once stood on the other side of despair. He and the robber worked together, sharing their stories at youth centers, spreading a message of hope and redemption. The story of the delivery driver who stood up blossomed beyond heroism into a tale of restoration, proof that even the darkest moments could lead to transformation. Time rolled on, stitching together the fabric of life with threads of resilience, healing, and redemption. Jake watched as new seeds of courage were planted in the hearts of many, cultivation of understanding blossoming where fear once loomed large. There was no ending, just a continuous journey toward healing for all of them, as humans who dared to stand up, not just against adversaries, but for each other. In the end, every delivery became not just a job, but a witness to the strength of the human spirit. Jake continued his route, a smile lighting his path as he navigated the city, a warrior turned advocate, a man who learned that everyone had a story waiting to be heard, waiting to be told. And as the sun dipped below the skyline, painting the clouds with hues of hope, he embraced the role of unsung hero. No cape required, just a courageous heart ready to stand up for others. Thus, life continued with all its complexities and contradictions. Jake knew that heroism lay not in the extraordinary but in the everyday choices that shaped lives, in every moment of standing up amidst chaos and in every heartbeat that echoed the truth of shared humanity. He had found his purpose, one delivery at a time,